The Yarlung Tsangpo, born from Tibet's ancient glaciers, begins its journey high in the Himalayas, where snow and ice melt to form a ribbon of life that winds through some of the world's most dramatic landscapes. As it descends from the mountains and enters India, it transforms into the mighty Brahmaputra, a river that not only sustains millions of people but also weaves together the histories, cultures, and economies of Tibet, India, and Bangladesh. Its waters irrigate vast fields, provide fish for countless families, and serve as a spiritual and cultural lifeline for communities along its banks. The Brahmaputra's flow is a shared heritage, essential for farmers tending rice paddies, fishermen casting their nets at dawn, and the rich ecosystems that depend on its seasonal rhythms. Yet, this river of life is now at the center of a modern geopolitical struggle, as nations compete for control over its precious waters. China has begun constructing a colossal hydropower dam near the border with India, aiming to create the world's largest infrastructure project. This dam is not just a feat of engineering, it stands as a symbol of China's ambition, technological prowess, and its growing influence over the region's natural resources. For India and Bangladesh, the project has sparked deep anxiety and concern. It raises urgent questions about water security, the health of fragile ecosystems, and the future of millions whose lives are intricately tied to the river's natural flow. The fear of floods, droughts, and disrupted livelihoods looms large. The dam is seen not just as an engineering marvel, but as a potential tool of strategic leverage, capable of altering the fate of entire nations downstream and shifting the balance of power in South Asia. As construction reshapes the remote Himalayan landscape, the world watches a new flashpoint emerge. The fate of the Brahmaputra is now a global concern, forcing a critical conversation about how shared rivers should be managed in a crowded, competitive, and ever-changing world. China's Yarlung Tsangpo project is staggering in scale, with a budget of over $160 billion, making it one of the most expensive infrastructure undertakings in human history. The sheer ambition of this project is matched only by the formidable challenges posed by the region's geography and climate. To manage such a colossal endeavor, a new state-owned company, China Yajiang Group, was created solely to oversee every aspect of planning, construction, and operation. This company brings together some of China's top engineers, hydrologists, and project managers, all focused on turning this vision into reality. Unlike traditional single-dam projects, this is a system of 5 interconnected hydropower stations, each strategically placed to harness the river's dramatic drop at the Great Bend. Together, they form a vast network designed to maximize energy output while minimizing environmental disruption. The July 2025 groundbreaking, attended by top officials and industry leaders, marked the start of a multi-year construction marathon in one of the world's most challenging and remote terrains. The logistical hurdles are immense, requiring new roads, tunnels, and supply chains to be carved through the mountains. When finished, the complex will surpass even the legendary Three Gorges Dam, becoming the largest hydroelectric facility on Earth. It will generate enough electricity to power millions of homes, serving as a cornerstone of China's energy ambitions and its push for renewable power. But the project's location, on territory China claims as southern Tibet but India recognizes as Arunachal Pradesh, adds a layer of geopolitical tension to this engineering marvel. The river's course through disputed land has sparked concern and debate across the region. More than a dam, it's a bold assertion of sovereignty and a message to the world. China is cementing its presence in one of Asia's most contested regions, reshaping both the landscape and the balance of power in the process. At its core, the mega dam is about power, literally. It's projected to generate over 300 billion kilowatt-hours annually, enough to electrify more than 300 million people. This energy will flow to China's industrial heartlands and help modernize Tibet, supporting Beijing's pledge to achieve carbon neutrality by 2060. Hydropower is central to China's green transition, offering a cleaner alternative to coal and a way to meet global climate commitments. The project is also framed as a tool for regional development, promising jobs, infrastructure, and investment in Tibet. Yet, this clean energy dream comes with a cost. The dam threatens a fragile ecosystem and the water security of downstream nations. For China, the benefits of energy independence and climate progress outweigh the risks. But those living along the river's path see only uncertainty. The trade-off is stark, carbon-free electricity for some, environmental and social upheaval for others. For India, China's mega dam is a source of deep anxiety, especially for the millions who rely on the Brahmaputra in Arunachal Pradesh and Assam. The river is not just a waterway, it is the lifeblood of the region, supporting agriculture, fishing and daily life for countless communities. Its seasonal rhythms dictate planting and harvest, and its waters are woven into the cultural fabric of the Northeast. The fear is that China could manipulate the river's flow, causing droughts in dry seasons or catastrophic floods during monsoons, giving Beijing unprecedented leverage. Even small changes upstream can have devastating effects downstream, threatening food security and the safety of entire villages. The dam's proximity to the disputed border is seen as a strategic move, heightening concerns that it could be used as a weapon in times of conflict. In a region already marked by tension, the dam adds a new layer of uncertainty and risk, making water security a matter of national security. Beyond strategy, the dam threatens to trap the river's nutrient-rich silt, undermining agriculture and the livelihoods of millions downstream. The fertile soil carried by the Brahmaputra is essential for crops, and its loss could mean lower yields and greater hardship for families who depend on the land. The ecological balance shaped over centuries could be irreversibly disrupted. Unique species and delicate habitats are at risk, and the river's natural cycles, so vital to both people and wildlife, may never recover if the flow is altered. With no water-sharing treaty in place, India is left vulnerable, relying on China's goodwill rather than binding agreements. Diplomatic efforts have so far yielded only promises of information sharing, not concrete safeguards. Promises of communication offer little comfort when the stakes are so high. For those living along the river, uncertainty breeds anxiety and trust is in short supply. India faces a stark reality. It can only react, not participate in managing this vital shared resource. The future of the Brahmaputra and the millions who depend on it hangs in the balance. In Bangladesh, the Brahmaputra, known as the Jamuna, forms the heart of the world's largest delta, sustaining tens of millions. The greatest fear is a reduction in water flow, especially during the dry season, which could trigger salinity intrusion, ruin crops, and contaminate drinking water. For a nation already battling climate change and rising seas, any disruption to the river is an existential threat. The dam also threatens to trap the silt that replenishes the delta, risking land subsidence and making the region more vulnerable to floods and erosion. The Sundarbans, the world's largest mangrove forest, depend on the delicate balance of fresh and salt water, now at risk. Like India, Bangladesh has no formal water-sharing treaty with China, leaving it with little influence over upstream decisions. Dhaka's calls for transparency and cooperation have gone largely unanswered. The fate of Bangladesh's delta now hinges on decisions made far upstream, beyond its control. Environmentalists warn that the Yarlung Tsangpo Dam could trigger an ecological disaster in one of the world's most biodiverse and geologically fragile regions. The Great Bend is a global hotspot, home to countless unique species, now threatened by deforestation, habitat loss, and construction. The Himalayas' seismic volatility raises fears of catastrophic dam failure, while the immense reservoirs could even trigger earthquakes. The dam will alter the river's flow, temperature, and chemistry, disrupting aquatic life and the natural flood cycles vital for downstream ecosystems. Glacial melt, already accelerated by climate change, could be further destabilized. Critics argue that China's environmental assessments have ignored the project's transboundary and cumulative impacts. Once this ecosystem is lost, it cannot be restored, a permanent scar on a global natural treasure. India's response is twofold: diplomatic engagement and defensive infrastructure. New Delhi has pressed Beijing for transparency and data sharing, but with no water-sharing treaty, progress is limited. India is accelerating its own dam projects on the Brahmaputra, aiming to assert prior use rights and counter China's upstream dominance. These projects, however, carry their own environmental and social risks, sparking local opposition and complicating India's strategy. The dam-for-dam approach risks escalating a destructive infrastructure race in a fragile region. India closely monitors developments, keeping all options open to safeguard its interests. It's a delicate balancing act, cautious diplomacy paired with strategic buildup in a high-stakes contest over Asia's water tower. China publicly insists the Yarlung Tsangpo project is safe, scientifically sound, and designed to benefit the entire region. Officials claim it's a run-of-the-river scheme with no major impact on downstream flow, and promise open communication with India and Bangladesh. Beijing frames the dam as a tool for flood control, disaster prevention, and climate adaptation, not a threat. The narrative is one of shared development and win-win cooperation, echoing China's broader Belt and Road messaging. Yet trust is scarce. China has not shared detailed plans or data, and its refusal to sign water-sharing treaties fuels suspicion. For India and Bangladesh, verbal assurances are cold comfort when their water security is at stake. The gap between China's promises and its actions keeps regional anxieties high. The Yarlung Tsangpo Brahmaputra River system ignores borders, binding China, India, and Bangladesh in a shared fate. Unilateral action and mistrust risk environmental disaster and escalating conflict between nuclear-armed neighbors. The only sustainable path is cooperation, a formal multilateral framework for managing the river, sharing data, and resolving disputes. Such a body could coordinate dam operations, conduct joint impact assessments, and ensure equitable, sustainable use for all. Building trust will be hard, but it's essential. China must lead with transparency, while India and Bangladesh engage constructively. The mega dam is a symbol of both opportunity and peril, underscoring the urgent need for rules-based management of shared resources. The future of the Brahmaputra depends not just on engineering, but on the political will to navigate these turbulent waters together.